Well, hello, and how are you? Now, that's the big question we are often asked, right, people? And most times we don't even stay around long enough to actually hear someone's response to the question. Or, on the other hand, when we're responding to the question ourselves, we never really truly say how we are doing, right? So today we'll do cafe talk, not during the show, but we'll do it afterwards on social media. I'll just put it out there. How are you doing? And if you choose to respond, great. If not, that's okay too. But yeah, how are you really doing? You know, it's the Christmas holiday season and people are going through, and then others are really having a great time. But at the designated time after the show today, you can post to Facebook or my other social media and we will talk it out. All right. So, speaking of Christmas, are you done with your preparations? Yeah, your menu planning, your decorating, your sending holiday cards. Is that a thing that people no longer do, send holiday cards? Well, sometimes I have the presence of mind to do that. And I did send out some this holiday season. And, if you didn't get one from me, don't worry about it. I only did a few. All right. In terms of decorating, if you look at the shot on this YouTube post, you'll see that I got my tree up and just about done. I have a few more pieces in terms of decorations that I want to put on, but I'm just about done, and then I'm doing some other things around the house. So I'm getting there. Baking, I picked out a couple of dishes that I'm going to bake. I think I shared that last week. So maybe between now and the new year, I'll post some of the dishes or pastries or cakes that I've baked, just so you'll get an idea of what I did for the holiday season. We will not have a full live show next week because of scheduling and some other things. But later on, next Saturday, we'll be at the Moose Lodge here locally in the Joliet community for the Just Jim Christmas and birthday celebration. So I'll jump on and do some live check-ins there. All right. All right. Well, welcome to another edition of Marilyn's Cafe Society. It is Saturday, December 15th. We have just 16 more days to the new year, everybody. 10 days till Christmas. And now just 12 Saturdays till Christmas gift bag giveaways are left. A winner will be determined today, or at least in the next couple of days. We'll use social media once again to determine who will be the winner for the next Christmas gift bag. And then remember, the last two gift bags will be given away at the Just Jim Christmas and birthday celebration show that's going to take place next Saturday, December 22nd at the Moose Lodge, number 300. That's 25 Springfield Avenue in Joliet. So make sure that you come on out and enjoy the show. It starts at 8 o'clock. Everything's free unless you arrive earlier. Between 5 and 7, they'll be serving dinner. And you do have to pay for that. That just helps them continue to do all the great philanthropic work that they do there at the lodge. But at 8 o'clock, it's showtime. There is no fee. You just come on in. I'll have my face in the place, and who knows, as I've been teasing, I may have a karaoke moment or two. All right. So come on out, folks, and join us. Now, the 12 Saturdays till Christmas gift bag giveaways are brought to you locally by McDonald's at the corner of Jefferson Street and Stryker Avenue, and of course, the Maryland's Cafe Society show. All right, let's get into some on this day in history. Well, in 1791, the first law school was established here in the United States at the University of Pennsylvania. And in 1946, the Chicago Bears beat the New York Giants 24-14 in the NFL championship game. Yeah, just giving the Bears fans here a little hope and motivation ahead of tomorrow's game against the Green Bay Packers. Go Bears. All right. And then, obviously, in more recent history, in 2015, the mayor of Flint, Michigan, declared a state of emergency over contaminated water supplies amid calls for a criminal investigation. And, they're still kind of going through it there in Flint, Michigan with their water. There's different organizations that are still asking people to donate and to help them out with that. So just, find Flint, Michigan on Google and see how you can help if your heart so leads you to. Okay, and cafe news. Well, there's a lot of it, but we're not going to get into all of it. But I did find a piece about smartphones that I wanted to share with you. Because they're becoming so much a part of our lives. I was just talking to my sister moments before the show about our smartphones. Well, there's a report out that says, for most Americans, our phones are the last thing we see before we fall asleep at night, and the first thing we see when we wake up in the mornings. And of course, throughout the day and well into the night, we're constantly getting notifications from our email accounts, from Instagram, from Facebook, from Twitter, from Reddit, and any other social media that you may be involved with. Now, according to some researchers at the Culture, Mind, and Brain program at McGill University in Montreal, they're saying, listen to this, they're saying that at least 3 out of every 4 people here in the United States own a smartphone. And they estimate that Americans touch their mobile devices more than 2,600 times a day on average. That is crazy to me. Can you believe it? Also, our smartphones have been known to disrupt dinners, lunches, breakfasts, family time. It's the cause of a lot of distracted driving. And then there's some more subtler effects that are happening that are really, really resulting in profound changes in our brains and society as a whole. So, for example, some data from a $300 million study by the National Institutes of Health said that there's evidence that a child's brain may indeed develop differently with heavy use of digital devices. And, for those of us whose brains matured before the first iPhone appeared back in 2007. I thought the phones had been around, these smartphones, I thought they had been around longer. But the smartphones first hit the market here in the United States in 2007. But they're saying that even though our brains matured prior to smartphone use, we're still vulnerable to mental changes that could happen because we're becoming more and more attached to our phones. That's right. Listen to this. I actually surprised myself. Not last Saturday before I did the show. Well, I didn't do the show last Saturday. So this happened last Saturday. Before my day started, I had to run out of the house to take care of some business. And I did kind of sort of in a rush. Was gone from the house not quite 2 hours, but more than an hour. And I got back home, and lo and behold, there was my smartphone on the nightstand. So I gasped, right? Because I was like, wow, I was gone away from the house for almost 2 hours without my smartphone, and I didn't even notice. Now, granted, as those of you who've been with the show for some years, about 5 or 6 years ago, I had an instance where I was driving somewhere and got halfway there and realized I didn't have my smartphone. with me and turned around, went back and got it. I shared that with you guys back when that happened. So yeah, we've become attached to our phones, but they're saying that it could affect us mentally, folks. If you spend a whole lot of time on your smartphones, it could make it difficult for you to think deeply, to pay attention, to conceptualize thoughts, not to mention remembering basic information. For example, prior to these smartphones, remember when we actually knew the number of the person we were calling? Now we just program the phones with the number, put their name there, and then hit their name. When we want to call them, you don't even remember phone numbers or birthdays anymore. Now that's an example. All right, so we've allowed these smartphones to just kind of become so influential in our lives. Sometimes this is something that researchers have noticed that just the presence of a smartphone being in the room, on the table, somewhere within view can reduce the quality of good conversation. Pay attention and notice the next time you're in a social gathering. Just pay attention. There was another study that found a link between having a smartphone within sight, even if it was turned off, would lower scores on tests of short-term memory and problem solving. This is getting out of hand, people. It's really getting out of hand. And of course, this is those who use their phones to the extreme. The more you give control over things to your phone, for example, your contacts, your social connections, how you get your news and information, your work, the more you're going to be distracted with using this device. So, the researchers said that even some human decency is being sacrificed in preference of the smartphone. People don't help strangers anymore because they're too busy looking at their phone. It reduces how many times a day we smile at people, because we're not looking at people anymore. We're looking at our smartphones. It's really affecting us. So, there's a psychologist out of the University of Virginia who says that even when phones are at their most useful, such as when we're bored because we are sitting in a waiting room waiting, you're missing out on conversation. So that's a great way to blow off some time. If you're waiting for something, you go jump on your smartphones, check emails, text, play games, all of that. But then there's people in the room sitting around you that you're missing out on some social interaction with. Some people may argue, well, I don't talk to strangers anyway. I wouldn't be talking to those people anyway. I'd probably be reading a magazine from the coffee table or something like that. And that's a great arguable point. But again, this is just food for thought, something for you to think about. How much has your smartphone affected your social interactions with people? Okay. All right. And so another study suggests that there are very profound generational differences in terms of how this technology affects the brain, because the post-millennial generation, or those individuals who were born in 1995 or later, are believed to be the most affected because they're the first generation who has spent their entire childhood, adolescence with smartphones. Remember, us old people, we knew life prior to the smartphone. As I said earlier, it just came into existence in 2007. So if someone was born in 1995, and 2007, they would have been 12 years old. So they've kind of grown up with these devices, and so they could be most affected, according to this research. So, again, it's just some food for thought. I wanted to bring that to your attention in case you have not heard that report, and just get you to thinking about things, right? Um, in terms of society, they're saying that there's a more profound divide in society because of the smartphones, and our ability to connect with others, or at least give the appearance of connecting with others through social media on Facebook, Twitter, and other apps. That, prior to smartphones, we actually had to physically research and search out information. Now that we have these smartphones, the information just simply pours out through our apps and phones. So, again, it's allowing our society to become more polarized, and it's allowing people to become more free with their expressions. And sadly, it's kind of exposing people for who they truly are as well. So again, just some food for thought. Now, can we find balance? Can we find balance in our daily lives, our social interactions, and with the use of our smartphones? I think we can. Um, you know, uh, what I've shared is on the negative side in terms of these smartphones and technology, but some great things have come out of it, right? There's a lot of entertainment value there. Um, it's easier to find how to get to places, and for those who are dating, it's even easier to find dates now. It's a great way to keep up with your friends and your family collectively in groups, right? And a quick way to find out what's happening in the news. So those are some good things about it. And if you kind of think about it, in a way, we are kind of exposed to a greater diversity of people around the globe. We get to interact with people on Twitter or Facebook that we may never meet in life. So otherwise, we may never meet in life. So it does have some positives to it, but again, we have to find that great balance. And so some researchers have challenged themselves and tried life without the smartphone for a couple of weeks. They just went back to the old flip phone that did not have any internet connectivity. And guess what? They discovered that they survived, people. They survived. Their life didn't fall apart without the smartphone. So they said, for news, they had to get their news the old fashioned way through the newspapers or television, or they would sit down on their desktop computer and pull the news from online sources. And if they wanted to connect with people through social media, again, they had to rely on their computer for that. Um, and they're saying the results are that they became more productive in their daily lives and at work, and their in person physical contact, social interactions became much more stronger and profound, and they found themselves to be in a better mood overall. So imagine that. So that's a test that you can do for yourself, a challenge. Put the smartphone away for a couple weeks, a month, however long you can last, and just go back to a basic flip phone and see how your life is affected as a result of that. I believe that, you will kind of slow down a bit and smell the roses, and develop more stronger interactions with people, and be able to maintain a more balanced life. So just wanted to share that with you as our cafe news, because I thought that it was so very interesting, folks. All right, let's take a quick look at the stock market. The Dow, the S&P 500, and the NASDAQ are all down. The Dow is down 496.87. The S&P 500 is down 50.59. The NASDAQ is down a negative 159.67. Stocks on the move. Well, Alaska Air Group is up 96 cents to $62.30. So is Sealed Air Corp. They're up $1.54 to 33.94, and Nucor is up 69 cents to $56.39. Now, Adobe is suffering a bit. They're down $18.08. So is Starbucks. They're down. Of course, they fell short on Wall Street, of Wall Street's expectations. Costco is also down $19.45, and of course, because of all the news with Johnson and Johnson, they are down $14.84. Oil is down $1.38. Gold is down $6, and the euro is still down less than a penny, people. All right, and that's our cafe news. Well, and entertainment news. Who will host the Oscars? That's still the big question that everyone's pondering. And there was news earlier in the week that all of the big wigs who put the Oscars together have been in private, secret meetings, and apparently they're trying to determine if there will be a host and who it will be. And if there's not a host, how will the show go on? So I believe there is a couple times in history where the Oscars went on without a host, and they were very creative in how they handled it. But I think for the most part, viewers and those in the audience are used to having a host. And of course, some of the more popular names, those who have hosted the Oscars before, their names have come up, like Chris Rock, Whoopi Goldberg, Tom Hanks, and some others, Jimmy Kimmel, and Kevin Hart's name is still out there. That's right. Some people think that they can do a reversal on this, sit down and hammer things out, and that Kevin could possibly go on to host the show. So we shall see. Now, one name that I have not heard in circulation for consideration is my name, and I'm still throwing it out there. That's right. I think if they pluck somebody from the middle of nowhere and drop them out on that stage, it would be quite an interesting show. So Marilyn May is a name they should consider. All right, well, the 2019 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees have been announced, and they include The Cure, Def Leppard, Radiohead, Roxy Music, The Zombies, and yes, two women, Stevie Nicks and Janet Jackson. Now, remember, to be eligible as an individual artist or band, you must have released your first commercial recording at least 25 years prior to the year of nomination. So there we have it. That's how those folks got in. Now, speaking of the Janet Jackson induction, nomination and induction, there's been a lot of whispering going around. And I stumbled upon some information. I'm not going to get into it on today's show, but maybe I'll wait till after the holidays to address it, because there are some other related stories that, I want to talk about, and I kind of want to delve into why is this happening? There's that saying, men are from Mars and women are from Venus, and we know that we're different, when it comes to our physical appearance, and apparently our mentality and personality and way of thinking. But some of these stories that have been coming out in terms of how women, not just high profile women, but women in general, are being treated by men. So it's a topic at large that I want to address, and I'm going to save the details of this story about Janet Jackson's delayed induction for that show. And again, I don't want to spoil the holiday festivities and the lightheartedness of the holidays, so we're not going to get into it until after Christmas. But there is a scandal behind why it took so long for Janet Jackson, who has accomplished so much musically over the last 35 years, why it took so long for her to well, she's been nominated, I believe, two or three other times, but to finally be inducted. We'll talk about that and a lot of other things on one of our other shows. All right, folks. So again, we'll wrap this up with the cafe talk. Again, I'll get it posted to social media, Facebook, Twitter, and just put it out there. How are you doing? And as I opened up the show, I shared that a lot of times people just say, how you doing? As they just keep walking by, not even waiting for a response. And then our response when we're asked is just a good, I'm well, how are you? But really, really, people, how are you doing? That's my question. And I'm just going to share how I'm doing. I'm well. I'm good. But I'm a little sad, I'm a little sad. Does anyone who asks that question to someone really want to know how they're doing? I'm a little sad. I'm missing my mother, my brother. I just got news last Sunday that my youngest aunt on my mother's side passed away. Aunt Eliza passed away. We affectionately called her Scrap. She's no longer with us. So, that's some heavy news. And then in the middle of the week, I heard that one of my pastors, for those who are with the Cafe Society for a long period of time, I have a lot of pastors, but one of my pastors passed away. Pastor Licious Mahone, Pastor Emeritus of the Brown Chapel AME Church here in Joliet, has made his transition. And so, it's been a rough week. And that's how I'm doing. Busy, busy, busy with working, not feeling so well, But at the end of the day, I do have joy. And I just want to share that. And at the end of the day, you can still have joy as well. Okay? You can. So I'm going to get that posted to social media, have you respond, and we'll just talk about it on the social media after the show today. Before we go, I do want to remind you that the National Hookup of Black Women have their Founders Day celebration this evening. That's right, Saturday, December 15th at the Jacob Henry Mansion here in Joliet. Everything kicks off around 6 o'clock in the afternoon, and they will be done by 9. So it's not too late. You can still reach out to them for tickets. Just go to the nhbwjoliet.org website to get all of the details on how you can join them. And also remember, next Saturday, December 22nd, I will be joining Jim Chaport. He was on my Christmas show last year, and I'm going to be joining him on his Christmas and birthday celebration show this year at the Moose Lodge 300. Again, that's 25 Springfield Avenue in Joliet. Starting next Saturday, 8 p.m. the show starts, and we want to see you there. I'll be doing 2 Christmas gift bag giveaways. Again, compliments of McDonald's at Jefferson and Stryker here in Joliet, and also the Maryland's Cafe Society show. So make sure you come out, and Jim is going to be raffling off a bag, and the proceeds are going to benefit the Moose Lodge with all the good work that they do in the community. So come on out, folks. Again, that's 25 Springfield in Joliet. The Just Jim Christmas and birthday celebration show. I will be there as a special guest and giving away the final 2 Christmas gift bags. The third one, the one that I'm giving away today, will also be done via social media. So be sure to check in on Twitter. That's Maryland's Cafe Soch on Twitter, or Facebook, Maryland's Cafe Society, or just those 2 is where I'll be doing the giveaway for the gift bag. So check it out, and make sure that you like, subscribe, follow, friend, share, and all of that good stuff on the social medias. All right, you ready for what love is? Well, love is someone who helps you reach for that unreachable star. That's beautiful. And also, folks, I just want to remind you, if you don't do anything else this week, be sure that you live, you laugh, and you love. As always, it's been a privilege and a pleasure. We'll do it again for a quick check-in next Saturday, not during the regular show time, but from the Just Jim Christmas celebration and birthday celebration. All right? All right. Peace, everybody. We'll chat again on Facebook and Twitter later in the day.